There's a place outside of reality which, if you're not careful enough, you can just sort of slip or no clip into, and suddenly you're in this strange place. Yellow hallways and yellow rooms. Why does this all look familiar? My friend, this is the Backrooms. They are in an infinite room, and there are no signs of escaping whatsoever, as you are unlikely to ever leave this place. The Backrooms started off as a simple meme on April 21st, 2018 by an anonymous 4chan user with this image that would be engraved in many minds. Ever since then, the Backrooms have become much bigger than the world could have possibly imagined. Various stories and lore were made about these Backrooms, expanding the story and creating their own journeys and getting more people interested in the Backrooms. As the years went by though, the Backrooms got its fair share of publicity, and it was a well-known creepypasta up to this point. The description of being stuck in these creepy, liminal spaces is enough to get a viewer's attention. Although, on January 7th, 2022, everything would change. On January 7th, 2022, a video would emerge on YouTube titled The Backrooms found footage that was created and uploaded by a YouTuber named Kane Pixels. This video would change everything, and it gained a whole new fan base for the Backrooms, and it gave the whole creepypasta a lot more popularity, and that is evident with the found footage videos so far having over 18 million views. As I mentioned before, this new series by Kane Pixels has no involvement with other Backroom story and lore such as the Wikidot, Liminal archives, or the Fandom. Kane Pixels has little to no knowledge on the Backrooms 2 when making this series, so it's safe to assume that they are not involved, but please support the other authors as I wouldn't want them to get outshined by this new series. Before we start analyzing this new series, I'd like to say that the lore and story that Kane Pixels has created is known as Kanon. Yeah, pretty unoriginal name, but we'll be going over that specific lore, not the other lore. So without further ado, let's take a dive into this lore and analyze it and give my thoughts and predictions with how the series will play out in the future. Before we start, I'd like to say that at the time of recording this, the most recent video from Kane is the Backroom Motion Detected video. If I happen to upload this after a new video comes out and I miss out on lore from that video, then you know why. For starters, this Backroom lore by Kane is an interesting one as it's pretty much different from other lore. Instead of the Backrooms being randomly a thing, it was actually discovered by a research facility known as Async. Their motive was pretty much by testing their low proximity magnetic distortion system that there would be a way for them to grant a solution for all pretty much storage issues across the world and pretty much save a lot of money. As it turns out though, what they created or discovered was far from what they planned. I say created or discovered because nobody really knows so far if this research facility created the Backrooms or not, so yeah. Either way, so far there are currently 9 Backroom videos, and yes, I say 9 because there's one that's currently not on the playlist, so yeah. I will be going over what all those videos are, including the one that's not on the playlist, and I'll pretty much give my thoughts and predictions on the future of the series and also give my hopes afterwards. So I guess let's analyze all the videos. So instead of going in order in which these videos were uploaded, I'm actually going to be going by the date they took place, as in every video there's a date stating that there is a timeline for the series, and I feel like it would make more sense if I just went in order like that. In our first video though, the third test basically explains their motives for creating / discovering the backrooms, which I mentioned earlier. It was pretty much a way for them to meet future storage problems and all that. Here we have though our first look of what is known as the threshold, which will make a lot more appearances in the series, as this is the entrance to the backrooms pretty much. Although this third test failed, the async facility just wouldn't give up, and eventually they got what they wanted. Alright, so now we are on the Backrooms first contact. Basically in this video it gives us a brief look at how they're conducting these tests by showing off all the technology that they use. After 5 tests, all being a failure of course, finally on the 6th test, the async facility was able to discover what would be known as the Backrooms by many, and it would be the start of a wild series pretty much, I would say. In the video you could actually see a weird distorted maze in the middle of the video, and I'm guessing this is kind of like the Backrooms as a map, but as you would see later in other videos, the maps in the Backrooms are just different, so I don't know which is the real map of the Backrooms or if they're just always shifting or changing. But yeah, I thought that was weird. I would say it's contradicting themselves in the series, but no, I wouldn't say that. The Backrooms are probably just changing and changing all the time. But yeah, on the 6th try they actually did it and they created the Backrooms, but it wouldn't have happened without a sacrifice. Alright, so now strangely this is the only backroom video that isn't a part of the Backrooms playlist, and many would say maybe it just isn't a part of the series, but Kane himself linked this video in the description of his first contact video, so I mean I would assume it is. Many in fact don't even know that this video exists, as it literally only has 100k plus views. But anyways, this video basically covers a situation that happened where an earthquake happened in San Francisco, and basically a news broadcast is covering the situation. People like to say this video comes moments after the first contact video, and that the 6th test actually caused the rather wild earthquake in San Francisco. But then again, nothing is really confirmed. When Kane uploads a new video, be sure to check everything that, whether that be the dates, descriptions, pinned comments, as many would just miss things in this series, such as this video here. Reasons as to why this video is not listed in the playlist, I honestly do not know. Maybe it's a hidden Easter egg for people to find, because only 100k people has actually found this video. But yeah, I found that weird. Obviously Kane did not make this entire thing. I'm pretty sure someone can just search up earthquake in San Francisco and they can just find the news broadcast again. Maybe that's why, because there wasn't really that much creativity put into it. But yeah, I could see why he didn't put that in the Backrooms playlist. But yeah, let's move on now. Our next video of the Backrooms is the Backrooms missing persons, where in the beginning of the video it shows missing flyers from people who I'm guessing have no clip into the Backrooms, which is unfortunate. Ever since the Backrooms were discovered, missing cases have pretty much increased dramatically from what the video is showing. And then after that, suddenly we cut to our first look of async employees. Wow. And they're pretty much walking around the Backrooms, and yeah, what they're saying, honestly, have no clue, to be honest. If anyone can help me with that, I would appreciate it. But yeah, like they're saying a lot in this video, but I just can't understand what they're saying. We suddenly cut to a dead body. Actually, they actually find a dead body on the floor, and they're pretty much rather shocked to see this, with one of the employees even saying that this wasn't in the last report, which I'm guessing they just did not expect to find like a dead body on the ground out of nowhere. While some of the stuff I couldn't understand what they were saying, one of the employees did say that the body is organic, and they pretty much questioned whether it's some kind of fungus or something. And then the video just abruptly cuts like to weird funguses, and then just like an image that reads, "If anybody, blame him," which I'm assuming that is referring to Ivan Beck, which is the vice director of the Async Foundation. I will discuss more about this Ivan Beck, I can't say, Ivan Beck person in a bit, but I would say do keep note of this guy, as I'm pretty sure he will play an important part later in the story, and that will come up to my predictions near the end of the video, so yeah. Alright, the Backrooms autopsy report. In this video, we are shown the dead body that was discovered by the Async employees in the last video. And we have a scientist who is trying to dissect the body. And behind him is Ivan Beck, the vice director. Yeah, he's back. The scientist claims that parts of the body have suddenly stopped decaying, and that the scientist finds it rather odd, and it's something that he's never seen before. He then proceeds to ask this Ivan Beck guy where the subject came from, and we get no response because it cuts to a TV that shows random images, and then finally cutting to an image of the Backrooms that's showing, pretty much symbolizing that the subject came from the Backrooms. There's a bit of confusion from this video that I pretty much want to clear up. So in Kane Pixels' Backrooms server, he has his own Discord server. Many people seem to like believe that the dead body's name is John Doe, when in actuality it isn't, as people with undetermined names or an undetermined identity, and like when they die they're just called John Doe. So no, this person isn't actually called John Doe. It's just for the people who are just unidentified, like when they die they're just called John Doe. So yeah, that probably would clear up some confusion, because Kane Pixels does have a Discord server, and I always see people thinking that that person's name is actually John Doe. No, it's not. But yeah, it's pretty much for autopsy report. As for the images shown in the TV, they weren't really that much significant. There were a few images that stood out, like this weird async termination paper, and there's also other photos, but like a baby and all that. I don't know, it was weird. But yeah, those images will probably have more significance as more videos get uploaded. But yeah, it's pretty much for the autopsy report. Now, everything from here on out is pretty major and significant in the series, so listen up. The next video is the Backrooms informational video, which reveals quite a lot actually. We first go over the async facility's regulations and protocols of what to do and not to do. An example of what to do is entering the Backrooms with 3 or more people, as entering alone, as shown later in the video, can be very dangerous and it pretty much isn't safe. There's another video that kind of contradicts with that, but we'll get into that later. An example of what not to do is mention the project in any capacity outside the facility, which is a little gripe like I have with the series. Like, can you really not say door or hallways outside of the facility? Anyways, I don't know. I just found that a little odd, but other phrases make sense, like the Backrooms, of course. After we are done looking at the protocols and regulations though, we then cut to another pair of async researchers. I'm not really sure if these are the same guys from before, but I doubt it. Here they talk for a bit, but to be honest with you, as previous videos, I can barely understand what they're saying. So once again, if anyone can help me out with that, I do appreciate a comment. I'd appreciate that. This time our cameraman is the victim here. He's unlucky, as while his team is like walking, he ends up getting distracted by a weird noise coming from the ceiling. As he gets near the sound, he asks his co-workers if they can hear the sound, but before he knows it, they just disappear, and we see our cameraman lose it. Honestly, really appreciate how genuine this dude sounds.
Guys, George, open. Hey.
Like, he sounds extremely terrified, so props to you, Kane, on getting good voice actors, I'll admit. In the next few minutes or so, our cameraman wanders around the back rooms and he finds some interesting areas. One of them being like a farm-like theme, with even a house painting, which for some reason has sounds coming from it. Yeah, it's a bit weird. Eventually, our cameraman seems to have found an exit to his nightmares via an async employee door, and he manages to get inside, but the alarm just sounds out of nowhere, and the video cuts, and we get another look at the complex, although I'm pretty sure that was just meant to make the video 8 minutes. I'm pretty sure it was just there to make the video 8 minutes, but yeah. One interesting thing I will say, there's actually a theory with this video. Now, the theory goes that the guy in this video, when his co-workers disappear, he actually teleported into the future. Now, I do not know how many years into the future, but there are theories that they teleported into the future as like later videos, or I guess the video that's like gonna come after this, motion detected. They're constructing an area near the threshold, right? And it's the same area that the guy finds that door, and that he gets inside the building. I won't get into it that much, but he pretty much gets into the future. So time travel does exist in this lore of the Backrooms. I do not know how that would be implemented in the future, but yeah, I thought that was very interesting. I don't know if this guy teleported to 1996 of when the last video in the timeline happens, but yeah, we'll just wait and see, I guess. Let's just get into the next video then. Alright, the Backrooms motion detected. This video is currently the most recent video uploaded by Kane at the time of recording this, and it's an interesting one, I'll say. Here we are shown the async research facility is constructing something near the threshold, like I mentioned previously, and they have cameras all around the Backrooms, which I will say is a very smart idea by the async research facility. We are then shown a closer look at these cameras, and I will say everything just looks so realistic, like phenomenal job, Kane, like honestly. The fun begins though as we get to see the cameras detected audio and motion. The first instances are the employees and even the supervisor walking by the Backrooms. I find this weird, as in the last video you aren't allowed to walk alone, and here we have the supervisor walking alone. Yeah, that's what I was talking about when it was contradict. I don't know. But maybe because it's near the threshold, it's okay, I guess. After motion is detected by the threshold closing, which means no like employee can make a sound because this threshold is closed now, but they figured out how to close it, so that's good on them, I guess. So they have somewhat more of a control on the threshold, I guess. But yeah, after that though, another audio was detected. It was to be determined, and it's just random sounds, which I'm assuming it's a monster, I guess. Another audio was detected, but that was just a microphone failure. But things really get interesting as motion is detected, oh no, and the camera seems to capture our first glimpse of a Backrooms entity. which looks to be some type of spider creature on the ceiling loafing around. And this is the first time that the async research facility realized that discovering the backrooms may have been a bad idea. Another thing to note before we proceed is the setting. It just looks familiar. As I mentioned before, it's literally the same place as the guy in the previous video. More on that later though. Okay, so here we have our second unlisted backrooms video that you have to find, but this one is included in the playlist, so obviously it's much easier to find. And actually this video already has over 1 million views. This video shows us many screenshots of different areas, technology, and even the employees working on the backrooms. And towards the end it even shows us a null zone, which I found to be interesting. I don't really have much to say for this video, as pretty much as I've described, but trust me when I say that the next video I will have a lot to say about. But yeah, this is one of the only 2 videos that doesn't have the backrooms name in it. Yeah, I really like the okay, this is a bit of off topic, but I really like the song in this video. Like the backrooms oath, like I have to take time to acknowledge it. It's actually really good. Like, it's honestly really good. I really like the song in this video, but yeah, there's not really much else to say in this video, so let's just move forward, I guess. After a while of covering all the other videos, we have finally reached the most recent video in the backroom timeline, and the video that pretty much started it all, which now has over 19 million views, that being the backrooms found footage, which is debatably the most important video in the series so far. We first begin with a few filmmakers and our cameraman Kane, which is a weird case as this isn't Kane himself apparently. This isn't Kane, the guy who made the series, but a different Kane. Yeah, anyways, they seem to be shooting some type of horror short, and they cut, and one of the filmmakers tell Kane that they're going to do one more take and that they're done. And so he tells Kane to back up a little bit, and then suddenly Kane no clips into the backrooms. I guess that was a null zone. Now I have a few questions, because usually people don't see someone no clip out of reality, and his friends just kind of did. I wonder what they thought when that happened. After this happens though, we see Kane explore various different areas of the backrooms, and then he sees arrows leading into an area, and once he reaches the final arrow, there were a lot of weird drawings and words on the wall. Those being a window, a pair of eyes, and a few words such as "don't move, stay still." In other words, but before we could see anything else, it appears. The next minute or so, we get a good look at the brand new creature chasing Kane down various areas of the backrooms, and it ends up with Kane entering another section in the backrooms. I say sections because, you know, I mean, Kane, like, he says it himself. He doesn't really like to call them levels, so I'm going to respect that and just call them areas or sections. So Kane, like, he pretty much enters this familiar area of 2 rooms and a staircase, and it's unknown whether he goes into any of these rooms, as the camera just cuts to him already up the stairs flickering the lights. After that, he enters a new area with the reference to a popular liminal space. Nice. He wanders around until he finds a door, but that turns out to be futile, as he just ends up where he was before. And surprise, surprise, the monster is back, and it ends up killing Kane, and his camera somehow no clips back into reality, and we see it like pretty much hit the ground, and that's pretty much how the video ends. I would say this video was really interesting, and it's the most recent video in the timeline, and Yeah, that's the most far the timeline has gotten. And when I say far, it's like 6 years after all the other videos, so yeah. So Async by now probably has like a good grasp like of like the backrooms now. That's where there's many things in the video such as file cabinets and other objects like ladders in the background. After watching that video though, I honestly have a bunch of questions. But that will bring us to our final topic of today. So yeah, let's go right into that. Alright, now that we discussed the origin, lore, and pretty much analyzed all the videos so far, I'm still left with a few questions. I would also like to state my hopes and predictions and my overall thoughts of the series so far. Firstly, I would like to say that the quality of all these videos are honestly really good and everything looks so realistic. Secondly, I do have a few questions with this series heading forward, and the thing I'm wondering the most is what's going to happen after the 1996 video, which was the found footage. Because, I mean, in the video, it pretty much shows the backrooms for the world to see, hence the name found footage, and it leads me to how the series could potentially end. I believe that Ivan Beck, yeah, that guy, is actually our main villain here, and his intentions were more sinister than we think. Shortly after, though, I think after the video was found, I will say that the video probably will come after found footage, and it'll probably be the last video in the series with Ivan Beck getting arrested after creating the backrooms. And the threshold is closed forever, but that video would probably end with the message that's saying that, like, you know, like the backrooms are still around with the image of the backrooms showing. Yeah, all the videos before found footage will most likely show off the creatures of the backrooms and pretty much show off the true intentions of Ivan Beck and give more info on the people who have died due to the backrooms. Yeah, I don't know. That's just the first thought that comes into my mind, pretty much. I know that's kind of a stretch. I don't know. It'd be kind of a cheesy ending, but I don't know. I can't. I honestly do not think of another ending of how he could end this. To be honest. But yeah, that's how I believe the future of the Backroom series will come to an end. I want to thank all the Backrooms authors and Kane Pixels himself for pretty much making me interested in this concept of horror. Because before Kane's Pixels thing, I wasn't really into the Backrooms that much. Like, I saw a video by Nick Crawley covering the Backrooms, but it still didn't really interest me, and I didn't really feel like reading like all the stories and lore at the time. I was a dumb kid back then, so yeah, I wasn't a fan of reading. But yeah, I really appreciate the hard work that all these people have put into this, into the Backrooms. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. It means a lot to me that you guys watch this video. And I'll pretty much see you guys in the next video. So yeah, bye.